In one of our previous conversations, you told me that you like to fight the generic. The project we are discussing, the Chengdu National Giant Panda Research and Breeding Center, is a perfect example for that, to fight the generic, because it has such a unique program. If you could tell me more about the vision for architecture here.
Panda Pavilions is part of a major campus expansion project for Chengdu Giant Panda breeding and research base, which is the world's largest or leading research institute on panda preservation. It's located near the outskirts of Chengdu, China, within the National Conservation Park. So this project presents a very unique opportunity for us to engage a building with its natural surroundings. The design of Panda Pavilions for us is really about the integration of human experience, architecture, and environment. And I think the key idea here for Panda Pavilions is the integration of building form with its landscape. It was intended as a sort of a convergence of architecture, landscape, and land art. So it's a really rare opportunity for us. And this project also designed to foster cross-disciplinary sort of collaboration as a care center and research lab for the bears. So the design is actually organized around these four open-air circular courtyards, which serve as an outdoor playground for the bears. And at the same time, they provide the continuous connection with the nature. Um, and also, these pavilions are sort of interconnected by the pathways and elevated footbridge. Is sort of creating an immersive navigation experience for the visitors. And another strategy for this project is that we also try to take this advantage of this project because it's a program location to really create a low impact sustainable development.
You were born in Sichuan province, where Chengdu is located. I understand that this base, this Panda base, was founded, I think, in the 1980s. So you've probably been there as a child. So I wonder if you could talk about your personal relationship to this place, which is heavily visited. And I read in some places that it's the biggest attraction in the city. Um, what was the experience like, and how did it inform your project?
I actually went to the park once before we actually were commissioned with this project. I was mainly at sort of play a role as a parent, leading and going with my kids. We were fortunate to have this opportunity to have a chance to look at new ways to really engage the building with the nature.
This project is a result of a competition. I wonder, was this an international competition? Was it open, or was it by invitation? How did you get involved?
It's by invitation. I think at the beginning we were approached by the mass planning firm, which was in charge of the campus expansion mass planning work. We sort of made a joint effort to team up because we were informed by, by the planner that the client was not happy with the initial sort of architectural ideas did by European firm. So we got a chance to be involved, and we came up with the idea of really embracing the wildness, the sort of fusion of architecture landscape. And also there's this idea of minimal intervention in this kind of very natural surroundings. So the building can works with organically with the topography as they merge into one.
I didn't realize that the project you did is just a small, relatively small part of the entire park or campus. It's actually enormous, and I went to see it on Google Maps. And it's interesting that from above, you can't even see the circles, the rings. They are completely integrated into the greenery, the landscape. I want you to talk about the initial idea. And specifically, there is a sketch that you did with four circles. And on that page, you said land art, landscape, and architecture. If you could explain your concept, and if you could talk about the principal programmatic and architectural element of the project.
The design of this project actually was inspired by the the natural landscape of Chengdu's prairie. As you mentioned, for those sketches, I was really touched by the sort of natural surrounding of this campus. So the sort of undulating pavilions actually was trying to mimic the the silhouettes of the surrounding rolling hills. And also this for us is an opportunity to create form of land art because I was always interested in the land art, especially how the art piece kind of relating to the land. This building is configured as like four ring-shaped pavilions. They sort of nestle into the woodland slope. And if you look at from above, they are very simple and powerful and almost merged with the land. But if you experience it looking from the ground level, and you can see this sort of undulating profile, and these pavilions in some places they rise above the topography, and some places you kind of sink into it, so they really becomes into one. And I thought that kind of meandering immersive experience is very interesting for the visitors.
You said to me, architecture is an ongoing negotiation with the surrounding environment. I want you to talk about specifically what inspired your solution in the form of this ring, similarly sized rings, and so why rings? And if you could, you just mentioned land art, so maybe there are specific examples that inspired you. If you could talk about that.
At the very beginning, we were think about more organic forms, which we thought it could work with the contour and work with the topography of the park very well, and also compositionally that would be very interesting as well. And as we moving along through the design process, and we found out because the site itself is quite challenging because all the change terrain and topography is very complicated to construct. So somewhere in the middle process, I think we have revised our scheme to this sort of perfect circular shape. It has this sort of horseshoe shaped configuration, but overall geometry is very simple as circular. what this does is allow us um, to be able to rotate those configuration geometry very easily to work with the contour. Uh, by doing so, it actually achieved the sort of a low impact, minimal intervention. On the other side, when you talk about the inspiration from the land art piece, for instance, some of the work of Richard Serra, I mean, how those cordon steel pieces kind of engage with the land and the experience it created. I think those are some of the inspirations as well. Of course, there's another form of land art in contemporary Chinese art as well.
You also said, I favor simple forms and complex facades. I wonder how this idea is applied in this project.
To me, I think simple is powerful, and I think I'm a minimalist at heart. I'm interested in simplicity and clarity in organizational forms. So I feel, especially in China, that the fast-paced development has produced way too many form-driven buildings. And in this case, I think the pure geometry, the sort of preliminary geometry of circle actually works out not only in the sort of abstract sense, but also I think it works perfectly with the topography.
If you could talk about the choice of materials, the pavilion facades feature vertical articulation of wood-grained aluminum fins, reflecting the vertical rhythms of bamboo growth. If you could talk about that and what other materials are employed in this project.
For this project, we trying to introduce this really warm tone, textured surface effect to the facade. So we use this vertical articulation. At Actually, at the very beginning, it was planned for wood fin, but through our experimentation in the region, we we had a very hard time to find the wood product that can last for a reasonable period of time. So in the end, we opted for the wood grained aluminum fin, which is a recyclable material, and it weathers well. It can last for a long period of time. And we use this vertical articulations, play with the scale of those vertical elements. I think it really mimicking the rhythm of the surrounding bamboo groves. And I thought that, and also there's this sort of interplay with light and shadow on the surface.
Going beyond this project, when discussing your architecture, you use words and phrases such as accessible, restrained, holistic, dynamism, open space, quiet urbanity, maximizing public space, park-like environment, a dialogue between architecture and landscape, juxtaposition of rationality and sensibility. Here in this conversation, you mentioned pure geometry. How else would you describe your work, and what kind of architecture do you try to achieve?
In our practice, I think we try to adopt a holistic approach to architecture, landscape, and urbanism. My studio is very interesting. The design solutions that sensitive to the context and the surrounding environments. For the most part, I think we're interested in the creation of a unique spatial experience, especially with a strong focus on the quality of public space, connectivity, etc. So for many of our projects, we try to find ways to connect architecture and nature.
Could you describe your design process and how do you typically start a project?
We look into the typology and find out what's been done before, what is the logic, and how we can make it interesting and unique. So for us, this is about really about identifying the architectural opportunity within the constraints and looking for a unique solution for each project. It's not about the style. I think it's really more about the design process, and it's more about the methodology. But there is some aspect in our design work that's quite sort of a constant or sort of as a recurring thing. Like I said, the integration of architecture and landscape, that's one of our sort of most recurrent idea.
You said architecture should be identifiable, memorable, and relevant to its place. Any lessons that you learned from this particular project in Chengdu?
In terms of the lessons we learned from this project, uh, one we could take away is that I think sometimes as architects, I think it's important to be open-minded in the design process, developing ideas, sort of responding to the circumstances instead of being stuck with the preconceived idea. I think we just actually talk about the revision in the sort of mass planning of this project. Originally, it was configured as more organic shapes and was more random in layout and orientations. So the at the beginning, it appeared to be more playful and compositionally interesting. But as I mentioned it earlier, that during the process, due to the budgetary concern, in order to reduce the cost, we actually have to adjust the orientation so that it minimizes the sort of erosion of the hillsides. I think by doing so, I think interestingly, after adjustment, the pavilion actually works more organically with the topography of the woodland. So it turned out just to be fine, I think. So this is one of the interesting uh, outcomes we had with this project. I think what's interesting about this project is that we try to offer many levels of interaction between the human, the visitors, and the animals. I think that turns out to be quite successful because for the visitors, they had opportunity to have encounter or close interaction with the pandas at many levels. At certain spot, the footbridge sort of rise above the pavilions. And certain spot, the sort of sink underneath is it's even lower than the playground. So they have this sort of really immersive experience, and that's the sort of different levels of different kinds of interaction with the bears.